What's up, guys? I just want to talk a little bit about the latest information. Not a lot of stuff to talk about, but something a lot of people have been waiting to see, including especially me. Where I'm talking about the sound. Um, they did say that the sound was going to be different, and as far as I'm concerned, they delivered. They released a small bit of information on Twitter or what have you. Somebody in the comment section um, did bring that to my attention. Thank you very much. We got to stick together as a community, and keep each other informed and help each other because together we're getting things done. And I think even the most negative or pessimistic of us in the community or have to at least acknowledge, this isn't the same old. Um, 704 games, they are really doing a good job of checking off a lot of the things that this game needs, and they're not playing games this year. It seems like they're really stepping forward, and that's good. That's good for all of us. It's good for the game, and yeah, you know what? We're not going to get all the things we want. The game isn't going to be perfect, but I do believe this game is going to be better than last year's, right? So it's not a question for me as is it going to be better. I think it's obvious because if you just took last year's game and you added all the stuff they're adding this year, how can you say it's not better? It's obviously going to be a better game because of all the added stuff, the content, the things that were missing. So it's not a question for me, right? It's going to be a better game, but how much better is it going to be? And that's the real question. And the things that we're not going to get and the things we're going to get, that's all going to play into it. And the things that we don't know about yet, that they haven't talked about, they haven't mentioned the caution system, the AI, any of that stuff. Usually, when a developer, does a part two or three in the franchise, they'll remind you about how they worked on things that are already in the game from the year before. So this is like in a string of a franchise. I would expect them to say, hey, yeah, by the way, the AI is improved. We've worked on that. The physics, the handling, and the caution system, we fixed that. I've never heard that. So that's a question mark for me. I'm not going to assume they never touched it, but I do find it odd. Like, I would think they would throw that out there because they have to know that was an issue. And I'm sure they want people like to quell their concerns so that they're like, okay, you know what, they worked on it. It's not going to be broken in those areas like last year. So we don't know. That's a question mark. So that being said, I am excited about the game. I didn't feel this way with last year's game. Um, I did it a little bit in the beginning, and it was a little up and down as well. But this year, I can honestly say it's different. So I can't see how anyone with an open mind can't see all of the stuff that we're getting this year and not feel better and not feel like, hey, you know what? This looks like it's going to be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest game ever. There's still a lot for us to know, but just checking off there's a checklist of things that we've wanted, things that this game needed, and they've checked off a lot of things. I did not expect some of the things that we are getting, and again, the sound, I love it. Um, Finally, it sounds as close to authentic as we've ever gotten, right? Because even the best games from the past, they didn't sound great. That wasn't one of the things we raved about it, and it took a long time, but you know what? People kept complaining and talking about it, and eventually they addressed it. And this is why I tell you guys, you can't give up. We got to stick together as a community. We're the ones buying these games. We have an obligation to let them know, through constructive criticism, what we want from them, right? And if they're smart, which they seem to be, they listen. They're not always going to respond right away. They're not going to listen to everything, but once in a while, the message gets through, and you don't know when they're going to respond, right? And if they don't respond this year, maybe in the next game. So the key is don't give up. Be be persistent, right? And don't just say, "Hey, you suck. We want someone else making the game." You got to let them know that you what you want from them, and if either they can deliver or they can't, but at least they know what their consumer base wants, right? If they're smart, they're gonna go in the right direction. And as far as I'm concerned, this game is headed in the right direction. So the sound is great. And another thing I want to say about that clip, it was recorded on a secondary device. So what I mean is somebody was just that was captured off a cell phone. So they were standing behind Keselowski and he was playing. So the sound isn't even as good as it's going to be when you're actually playing the game. Okay, it's a big difference there. But there was enough there to see that the car sounds great. Um, we still don't know how the car sounds in different camera modes because, like, when you're inside the cockpit, it's going to sound slightly different. When you're around other cars, when you got a whole bunch of cars together, I want to hear how that sounds. Unfortunately, once again, they showed a clip with someone playing the game on a easy setting, right? I don't know who decides this stuff, but it just they keep shooting themselves in the foot marketing wise in terms of how they present the game. It's not fun, it's not exciting for anyone to see a car, especially racing games, for a car to just blow by the field and just these cars look like almost like they're doing caution speed, and they're blowing by these guys. It's like there's no challenge, there's nothing exciting about that. Even the most casual fan has to look at that and be like, you know, the best part of racing is when you're fighting for inches, when you're just fighting for that little bit of real estate, and you're neck and neck, lap after lap, and you're trying to pass that one car. That's the most exciting part of racing, and they don't show that. Now I'm sure it's there. I'm sure that on a higher difficulty, you'll get that. But the point is, you should be showing that. That's what when the game looks exciting. Doesn't look exciting. It looks like a toy. It looks like it's. And then if you want to make the excuse that the people playing the game are not really good at it, well, how do you explain how they're blowing by the field too? Right? So obviously, even these inexperienced racers find this easy. So it's something about it that I don't like. I think it's bad marketing. They got to start treating this a little more seriously in terms of the racing aspect. Put someone there, put it at a higher difficulty, and show a few laps of really good hard racing, right? If it looks too easy, it just looks like a toy. And I'm not going to harp anymore on it, but they continue to do it, and I don't like it. But I'm not going to, that's not what that video was about. It was about showing the sound, and on that end, I'm really happy. And some people might think that it's not that big a deal. It's just sound. It's everything. Sound is vital to the experience of a racing game, right? Look at all these other games like Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo Sport, even Forza. All these games that take themselves more seriously as hardcore, and the sounds of each car is authentic, right? Those games sound awesome, and when you play it, sound is a huge part of the immersion. And if the game sounds like crap, it just takes a lot of the excitement out of it. So finally, they addressed it. It sounds good. I'm really happy with it. It's just another thing they checked off that I wanted in this game. So they are definitely headed in the right direction. I still don't have enough to make a prediction, but definitely I'm excited. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think it's legit. The excitement I'm feeling is based on real shit, legit. Uh, the car sounds great. All the stuff they're adding. Now, I did talk about something previously. I got a little excited. I just thought, hey, look, we're getting the ability to run leagues in online. As it turned out, that tab is just for the different series, right? And they should have labeled it series, right? So, like from trucks, Xfinity. But that's my mistake. I looked at that and it's part of a trailer, and it would have been cool. And guess what? It's something I'm going to bring up in the future for future games. So it's just a great idea, I think, for online to be able to run your own leagues. Now you're going to have stats and the ability to just sign up or run a league, and it's all organized with a page, and that would add so much to the online, and I'd like to see it. So it's not going to happen. So I got a little carried away with that, but it is what it is. I asked, and you guys correctly told me that no, that's just for the series. So I didn't lose any real big enthusiasm for the game, but you know what? It's something nice that they really need to consider for the future. So basically, that's about it for now. And I what do you guys think? I mean, are you guys starting to feel more and more excited? Because let's be honest, I get it. Those of you who feel pessimistic, you have every right to do so, but they're adding a lot of stuff, man. Um, I didn't expect a lot of this stuff. So I got to give these guys credit. Now, how they execute it remains to be seen. But um, it's looking good, man. We should start, I think it's okay to feel a little bit of excitement. And the game, you know what? It's looking like it's shaping up to be something nice. But as always, I will keep it 100% realistic, and I'll judge it for what it is. When the game releases, I plan to play it for maybe 2 weeks before I do a review. I'm gonna be one of the Johnny come latelys with the reviews. Other people will have reviews for you guys right away. So I can't do a review without spending real time on the game because I want to give it that chance to sink in, and I could really properly dissect it and give you my honest opinion. I can't do that playing the game for 2 or 3 days. And honestly, I don't know how some people do it, um, but that's not for me to judge. I wish I was getting like an early copy. If I could get the game a week in advance and get a head start and really dive into it, and then maybe a couple days after the official release, I could do a really good review in a short period where you guys can wait a few days if you feel like it, if you care, and maybe take in all the reviews before you decide should you buy this game. But I'm being honest with you guys. You're not going to get a review for at least 2 weeks from me because really it'll be rushed and I don't think it'll be proper for me on my part. Other guys will be able to do it. And who knows? I think some of these guys may even be able to get the game early. I'm just some guy in the darkest corner of YouTube. Very, you know, just a few of you guys actually even know who I am and follow me, whatever, and I appreciate that. But I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have that kind of clout or juice, um, which is why I feel like I really have to hammer home all of my points. Sometimes I repeat a lot of stuff from one video to the next because I want the message to get out there. Because I'm not well known. I'm just some random guy, right? These other guys with bigger channels, this is why I always appreciate if and when they can take what I'm saying or even push that further using their clout, because obviously the bigger the name, the more clout their name has, and sometimes developers will listen to these guys. It's like, okay, this is so and so. I know who he is. He's got a lot of followers. People really, listen to him, and they're obviously going to listen to someone like that than to someone like me, who's nobody knows who I am really, and that's fine. This isn't my goal isn't to be big famous YouTuber. It's really to focus on this stuff so that we can all get the best possible game. Um, yeah, there are more important things in life, but that's not what this is about. Um, there's a lot of NASCAR fans who feel, man, we just keep getting hosed year after year, and this is what really has driven my passion to push this forward. And I hope you guys, before I go, I hope you guys really can take a minute and realize that what I've been telling you, it makes sense and I'm talking about the constructive criticism, the not giving up. You know, a lot of times I'll hear people say like, "Hey, you're wasting your time. This ain't gonna happen. Um, these guys don't care. They suck." You know, you can't have that attitude. You gotta keep trying. That's the way capitalism works. That's the way business works. You know, people make products, people buy products, and guess what? People critique those products. If it's a great product, it's going to have a good reputation. If it's not a great product, it's going to get bashed. Okay? And a smart company takes constructive criticism and makes their products better. Okay? And 704 games, you know, you can say what you want, but they do seem to be listening. And like I said, they're not always going to hear everything you have to say. They're not always going to react to it. But if you keep chiseling away, eventually some of that message gets through. And I think you're starting to see the results of all of that with this game. Just the things they talked about adding, and they've mentioned it as well in just even in small talk. Like they'll blurt something out and they'll say, "Yeah, we know people want this or that, or they're mad about this." They listen. Believe me, they don't come here to watch me or listen to me, but they, you know, on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, they hear stuff, and that's why when you people have forwarded my stuff to them, maybe they've listened through that too, right? So we have to do this together as a community, and I really do hope you guys see, you know what, there is progress being made. This isn't like Eutechnics, you know, and we have to keep it going, right? So that we can get better and better products, better and better games, and so I look forward to seeing what other stuff they release as far as information. And when I'm ready, I'll do a preview of what I think the game's going to be. And then, like I said, you know, probably after the game's released, maybe about 2 weeks' time, and then I'll put a review out just in case you care. I think most people aren't going to wait 2 weeks to go buy a game, and they're probably not waiting to hear my opinion to make their decision. And they shouldn't. Make your own mind up. Um, you don't, you know, you can hear what I have to say, and then you form your own opinions, and you go to other people. You know, there's a lot of good, smart people putting up really good videos, very well edited, and you know that's what I do. I get my information. I don't get all my information from one place. You know, I get a little bit of everything. I make up my own mind. So I don't I think by the time I release a review, most people are probably either going to have the game or have decided not to get it at all. But in either case, I'll still do the review. And I like doing the preview because I think it's fun. It's fun for me to see how much of the game I get right from the prediction and then see how much of it actually turns out to be like I said. And it's just a curiosity thing. So I think it's a fun thing. And let's see what happens. So, what do you guys think so far of the sound and everything we've seen so far? Are you as excited as I am? And I look forward to your comments as always. And, you know, we'll talk soon.